Alright, we've got Chris Duncan versus Slava Borschev. Before we get into it, man, Slava Borschev has an insanely good kickboxing background, but I will get into that a little bit later. First, I'm going to talk about Chris Duncan. So Chris Duncan, he was meant to fight Manuel Garcia, but that fight fell through, and now he's fighting Slava Borschev. Chris Duncan has fought some pretty high-level opponents. He's got 3 wins in Bellator, which is often described as the UFC's biggest rival company. All of his fights have ended inside the distance with 6 KO wins and 1 submission win. On the feet, he does quite well to control the center of the cage and walk down his opponents. He seems to use his hands more than his kicks, but if he does kick, it is usually a low kick to the legs or to the body. He uses heavy pressure to push his opponents' backs up to the cage, where he can unload his heavy shots where his opponents have nowhere to go. And I'm just going to show you guys the finish of this fight here. I'm not going to spoil you guys of a good finish. I just got to find it, obviously. And here we go. So we just got a little bit of a head kick KO. I noticed he doesn't really throw head kicks that he did there. Slava Borschev, on the other hand, crazy kickboxing background. Just read this article, specifically this paragraph, if you want a little bit of his background. He claims to have had over 200 amateur kickboxing fights. Just pause the video here because I'm going to go to some footage. And he won his first Russian National Kickboxing Championship in 2016. And then he became the K1 World Champion at 19 years old in 2011. He has 20 professional kickboxing fights with 18 wins. And he's got 2 professional boxing fights with 2 wins. As impressive as Borshev's background in kickboxing is, I do like the MMA experience of Chris Duncan still. He's got that Bellator experience. He's fought some pretty high-level MMA guys. It will be interesting to see if maybe Chris Duncan even tries to shoot for a takedown against Slava Borschev. We'll see if he knows about his background, but I mean, it's pretty crazy. He's got 2 professional boxing fights. BoxRec only has 3 kickboxing fights recorded, but in this little article here, he does talk about having 20 kickboxing pro fights, and he also talks about having over 200 amateur fights. But yeah, it's a very interesting story. If you have a read of this specific article, it is LFA 96's Slava Borschev, the only way I can make money. Very good interview. He has a lot to talk about, but I do have Chris Duncan. I've got him inside the distance. I mean, he's got six wins by KO. Maybe a KO is possible, TKO, ground and pound TKO, but submission could be likely as well. Borschev, he only started training MMA 3 years ago, so he probably doesn't have as well-rounded of a ground game as Chris Duncan has. And yeah, man, I don't know. We'll see how this fight goes, man. But do not sleep on Slava Borschev. He's fighting our Team Alpha Male for this camp. Dude, we could be in for a good fight, man. I'm still gonna go with Chris Duncan, but this is a good fight, to be honest.